We are here at the Steele County Fair with the Where's Mark segment, and usually we are covering Steele County things, but today here at the Steele County Fair we found a place that represents Dodge County, and we traveled through their little trailer. We see incredible looking potato chips. We look at are those cheesecakes right there? Oh dear God. What? Do you hear them? Do you hear that? They're calling my name. And here is the owner of Danielle's, and she is called Danielle. So introduce us to you and to what you're doing here today.
I'm Danielle Schmitz, and we are serving fish and chips and homemade desserts, representing Danielle's restaurant, Kasson. We've been doing the fairs for almost 30 years, different county fairs and different events. It's a way to promote the restaurant, get out of the restaurant, advertise a little bit, and show people around our communities what we do.
So Danielle, did you always want to have a food truck when you were growing up? When did you decide you were going to do a food truck?
Well, I've been doing the different fairs and festivals since I was about 5.
Okay.
I'd come and help my parents.
And are they the owners of Danielle's?
They were the owners of Danielle's. They started Danielle's in 1977.
Okay.
My husband and I bought Danielle's from them last April.
Okay.
So we've been kind of taking over the food truck as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how long have you guys had a food truck? How long has Danielle's had a food truck?
That's a very good question. We've had this trailer, I believe it's been about 12 years now.
So actually you were doing food trucks before it was really trendy to have food trucks.
I guess.
Because this is like the biggest thing right now. Yeah, you started the trend. You heard it here first, folks, right here on the Steele County Times website. It's a trend that was started by Danielle's in Kasson, Minnesota. Or you go ahead. We're gonna watch you. We're gonna watch you wait on a customer here.
What did you say? Mountain Dew.
Hey. Hey. What's your name?
Vern.
Vern?
Yep.
Where are you from, Vern?
Lakeville.
Lakeville.
Yep.
You know that this place is from Kasson, Minnesota?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I work with a bunch of people in that area.
Yeah. Well, when you're traveling through, you need to come into the restaurant and sit down and eat in there. It is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you'd love it.
Thanks.
You bet.
Thank you.
So who does all the baking for you, Danielle?
Well, my dad came up with all the recipes. So
these are your dad's recipes?
These are my dad's recipes.
For like the cheesecake and...
Cheesecakes. We sell deep dish Kentucky bourbon pecan pie and also our double baby do it. It's a 4-layer chocolate cake. So he came up with all the recipes, and there's just a handful of us that still know how to make everything. So when I'm here, obviously I'm not baking at the restaurant, so I've got a couple of great people. I've got Ted and Bob, and actually one of my cooks today who's never made cheesecake before is putting up actual cheesecakes together. So
wow.
Yeah.
And what kind of cheesecake do you have? Do you have just regular New York style cheesecake?
Yeah, we start with a New York style cheesecake, and then we add toppings to it. So we get some good caramel we put on top, and then we have either our Earthquake has homemade fudge brownies, caramel, chocolate on it, and then our turtle has pecans, caramel, and chocolate. Then we also have raspberry cheesecake.
Do you have cookies too?
We don't have cookies here. We have cookies at the restaurant.
At the restaurant.
Yeah.
Now I know I've eaten at the restaurant before, and the cookies are like off the chain there.
They're so good.
Had I been able to come into this booth and find cookies, see, I've got a friend that I've made here at the fair. His name is Nick, and he's the camel. And the camel loves chocolate chip cookies.
Really?
So it's like I'll be coming, he'll see me like 2 blocks away, and his eyes will get really big because he knows I'm bringing him cookies. So I think one of these days I'll have to stop by and pick him up some of those chips and see if is he a chip camel or not.
Chip fan.
So what's your qualifications, Danielle, for for running a restaurant?
Well, I suppose, I went off to school. I have a 2-year degree. I actually went to University of Wisconsin Stout I was in the hospitality tourism. Hi.
Oh, I need fish and chips, please.
All right. So
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
You know, 2 years ago I coached over in Scotland, and they have that's their big thing there along the North Sea.
Yeah.
Is fish and chip places all over,
Sure.
and they serve them in just like wrappers. So you walk along and you're eating your chips, and you don't sit down and eat there. You just kind of grab your fish and chips, and everybody's eating along the boardwalks there. It's the most incredible fish that you've ever tasted,
Yeah.
right there off the North Sea.
Oh, neat.
So if you get to Scotland,
I'll
you
have to
know,
try that.
yeah. So anyway, you went to Stout.
I went to Steele. I went there for a year, and it seemed like I was learning a lot of things and spending a lot of money on schooling that I didn't feel like it was going to help me with my future plans of owning Danielle specifically. So I came back to Kasson, and I finished just a 2-year degree at RCTC, and I learned from my dad. He taught me everything. He kind of just threw me in and said, kind of have at it. He would kind of guide me along the way, but he kind of let me make my own mistakes as well, and I learned a lot.
How cool is that you were raised up with your destiny in front of you?
That's pretty cool.
And what about your husband? Did he buy into that, the idea that you guys were going to buy a restaurant, and that you were like the heir apparent to Daniel's?
Well, he's super supportive, and he thought, if that's what I wanted to do, and he would support me and be there in any capacity that he could. He was actually out here yesterday helping, and he'll be here tomorrow.
So what is his name?
His name is Matt.
Matt?
Matt.
And where did you meet Matt?
At church.
At church?
Yeah, we just reminisced how we met last night, actually, on our way home from the fair.
Oh, that's very cool.
So yeah, it was kind of fun.
I thought maybe it was one of those stories where you waited on him and you were a waitress or something.
Wouldn't that be romantic?
Well, I mean, he dates you in church.
Yeah.
God blesses it, and he gets not only a wife but a restaurant out of the deal.
Lucky him, huh? And 3 kids.
And 3 kids.
3 kids.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the challenges of running a restaurant. Was it everything you signed up for? I'm sure there's things you grew up with that your parents didn't share with you.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden you took over and it hit you right smack in the face like a cold wind in the winter in Minnesota.
Well, when we bought the restaurant last April, we had it for 6 days, and then we closed our bar. It was the Northwest Lounge, and then remodeled
Last place I went to actually
It's now the
tried using
504
Tortoise,
Tavern.
thinking nobody
And
would
it's my
notice.
husband that
I
did
noticed.
all the work.
Oh, yeah.
He did build the tables, the bar, everything. So that was challenging in itself, because we essentially added a whole other business to our business. So, I knew that there were challenges, and I kind of thought I was in the same capacity to somewhat of an extent
Well, it's
the first couple
dihydrogenous monoxide.
months, but adding a bar just was kind of a whole nother story.
What did Mom and Dad think about that? Remodeling their bar and
Oh, they loved it. I think
they were on board with everything?
Yeah, I think it was hard the first, maybe seeing everything demolished.
Yeah, a lot of memories.
Because that was what they built and did. But I think they seem very proud, because we've left the restaurant exactly the same. It's very traditional, it's Daniel's.
Feels like home.
Yeah, and the tavern, the 504, it's just something that we could make our own.
Why 504?
It's the address.
Probably dropped by my sister's house during a buddy of mine was in
It's the address. I thought maybe it was like 4 minutes after 5 is a good time to start drinking.
Well, it's always a good time.
Well,
It's
it's-
504.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, it's 5:04 somewhere.
That's right.
And have you had any problems yet running this? Now you've had it since April. What?
Yes.
Any problems?
Last April.
Last April.
Yes.
So any problems so far?
Nothing crazy, I guess. It's it was a long first year. There was a lot going on. There's always something to fix, always something to upgrade. Added about 10 employees. We have 3 small children. Our youngest was 4 months old when we bought the restaurant. So it's always challenging. There's always something, it seems like, but
changing diapers and flipping hamburgers. And from what I've heard, everything is at Daniel's is fresh. You're very careful about your freshness and the food, the quality there. And if anybody's ever eaten at Daniel's, they'll know that. It is like the place to go in Kasson. And just a wonderful place. And I think I met you the first time on Mother's Day when I came in and did the Mother's Day mosh pit. And she doesn't want to get on camera, but guess what? Now that did it. She's now on camera. And who is this?
This is my sister-in-law, Shelly.
Hey, Shelly. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You like working here?
I do. It's fun.
Yeah. Does it get crazy?
It's good bonding time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember we ran a booth at Summerfest in Milwaukee when I was going to college, and we would run out of bread like every day, and I mean it was just like crazy. We did like $72,000 in like 6 days,
Awesome.
and that was back in the 70s.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's just selling submarine sandwiches. So it was crazy, but so anyway, you have all fresh ingredients back to Daniel's and homemade fresh ingredients. I mean, a dad that has his own special recipes on the stuff that you cook, and you've taken over and just kind of do you have that special touch like your dad had as far as cooking and baking?
Oh God. Hopefully someday I will. I think we've got all of his recipes and are able to use those, but it's fun to put different things together. And what's fun is watching my team do that too. They get excited about it too, because you hear them say they went to some other restaurant or whatever and they had such and such, and they're like, oh, I could go and do this better at the restaurant, and they experiment and they get excited about things. That's what's fun too, is to see everyone else kind of growing that way.
Well, I know as far as the DCI over there, I manage both the Steele County Times and the Dodge County Independent, but I know as for a place to interview, you guys have always been real gracious and kind, and it's the only place I will take people to do interviews, because you guys always accommodate us and give us a quiet little place to chat and to film things, and we did the Teacher of the Year there, and we did Derwin Hammond's story there, and so it's just it's a fun place to go, and the food is off the charts. And again, Danielle, thank you so much for spending some time. I know things are starting to heat up and get busy here at the Steele County Fair. So how much money do you stand to make this week here?
Like $500,000.
I am in the wrong business.
Give or take.
And you make like $5 an hour? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I want to raise.
So.
That would be a good week.
That would be a good week.
Yeah.
500,000.
I would take that.
I would too. I probably would. Okay. Thank you, folks. She'll be here all week. Or at least till Sunday.
That's
yeah.
right.
And if she doesn't make it in the restaurant business, she could go into stand-up comedy.
There we go.
Do you guys? Are you guys going to put any live entertainment into the band? Yeah, into the bar.
Well, actually, this next Friday we have a big party in the parking lot, and we'll have live music then. So we're kind of. Last year we did it was to celebrate my mom and dad retiring.
Yes.
And this year we're celebrating that we made it a whole year.
Awesome. Well, that's great. It'd be kind of fun to walk in there and have like a piano player or a little band playing or something in there. Maybe sometime you guys will expand to that, and then we'll come and cover you there too. But again, it's been a pleasure, and we love your restaurant, and best wishes and success going forward. I know that you guys are going to continue the Daniel's legacy with great pomp and circumstance.